Hey everybody, I'm April Baker. I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself so you can get to know me when you're making your decision to hire a realtor. So, a little bit of resume time. I went to Illinois State, graduated in 98 with a degree in international business, and I eventually went on and got my master's in supply chain management. And at the time, I didn't realize I was going to be using that for real estate, but it definitely comes in handy with, supply and demand does apply. So I spent about 15 years in international trade compliance and logistics. And, that's right about the time that I had my daughter. So had my daughter in 2012 and kind of came to a crossroads. I was traveling quite a bit for my old job and didn't want to be a mom that wasn't present. I definitely wanted to be present, and especially because I've always been a single mom. So this was definitely a time in my life where my path was set to change. So looked around and thought, what am I going to do with the next step? And I've always just loved houses. I know that sounds corny, but I've always loved houses. So one thing led to the next, and I became a realtor in late 2013. There are so many different things that I love about being a realtor. On a personal note, I love the fact that so many of my clients have become really good friends. It's amazing to watch them, either move into their house and make it a home and be able to go and celebrate different things with them, or to, if we're selling that house and they're moving on, to still stay in touch and hear about all of their journey through their life. Beyond making a ton of friends, I also found my community. When I was back doing the international business career, I traveled quite a bit and I just didn't know anyone. A lot of people laugh about that now because I know a ton of people. But at the time when I had my daughter and I was still in that career, I was traveling so much that I just didn't have any roots in my community. So when I became a realtor, got to know everybody, and then found a passion for volunteering. This is my love language. I volunteer with, 209 Scholarship, which is a scholarship fund for our high school kids moving on to college. I have volunteered with the Historical Society, with the Art Alliance, with the Chamber of Commerce. This is what I truly enjoy doing, and it's just a joy to be a part of the community. And by extension, when people move into town and they want to join the community, it's great to be able to talk to them and say, "Oh, are you good at this? Then I think these people would love to talk to you about volunteering with them." So that has been amazing. On the realtor side, the business side, what I love about being a realtor is I just consider myself a matchmaker. I love talking to people and figuring out what do you envision? What do you want for the next step in your life? Whether that is a first-time home buyer, a couple that's getting married, a couple that might be getting a divorce, if it's a family that's, downsizing, if it's someone that's selling their parents' home that, they may have passed. Whatever step on their journey that they're at, I am honored to be able to help them navigate that and move on to the next part. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about hobbies and personal interests. And right at that moment, my friend Bones came up. This is Bones. He's 2 years old and he's my rescue dog. I mentioned earlier, I love volunteering, and some of that is fostering dogs and working with rescues. Um, Other hobbies would be traveling. I know everybody says traveling, but I actually spent 2 years in Amsterdam. I worked in Amsterdam from 2001 to 2003 as part of my corporate career, and was able to travel quite a bit around Europe and fell in love with it. I have daily plans in my head and my imagination of going back and revisiting different places and exploring new ones. What else do I bring to the table for you as a realtor? So I consider myself a fierce advocate for you. I am a guide. I am a problem solver. I want you to understand this process. A lot of times buying or selling a home, it is the biggest financial decision that we'll ever make. It's a little stressful. So it is my whole goal to make sure that you are educated and informed to be able to make the best decisions for the next step. I always joke with my clients that, If you didn't understand my answer to something, it's probably my fault. Ask again. Ask that question 17 times if you need to ask it. My goal and what's important to me is that you understand what's going on. And if I need to explain it 17 times, then I will. We are in a competitive market. Our particular area is always in demand. There are never enough houses for sale. So as a home buyer, you need someone on your side that can get creative and be a problem solver. Look at it and go, do we have no offers on the house that you want? Do we have 27 offers on the house that you want? And how do we look at packaging your offer to be sure that you are the winning offer? Sometimes that has to do with price. I mean, let's be honest, it always has to do with price. But there are also other factors that come into play, perhaps closing date or your lender. Let's look at who is your lender. Let's have a solid lender in place, a good attorney in place, good home inspector in place. It's really the entire team that is working on your side to come in and get you what you want. We got to get you that house to make it your home. So I come to the table with that team in place. If you need referrals for anyone to do any of those things, I have people that I've worked with for years that I trust, and I'm very happy to refer in that process. On the other side, if you're a home seller, you have a different kind of team, and a lot of that work comes into play before the house even goes onto the market. So we might need to paint the house. We might need to organize. If you're downsizing, we might need to get rid of some things. So I have a team of people that I'm happy to refer to make sure that all of your needs are met, to ensure that we have the most successful transaction possible.